all, welcome back to my channel. If you haven't been here before, my name is Julie and I mostly make content surrounding topics such as music, makeup, as well as mental health. Today's video is mental health related as it is part of my Let's Get Clinical series in which I talk to you about various mental health conditions in regards to their symptoms, prevalence, as well as their treatment options. The symptoms come directly from the DSM-V. This is the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. It was published in 2013, so yes, there will be a new one soon. So let's get into it. For today's video, the mental health condition we're going to be talking about is histrionic personality disorder. Now, histrionic personality disorder is classified as a cluster B personality disorder, which means it falls under that dramatic category of personality disorders and also is commonly identified by unpredictable thought patterns or behaviors. Antisocial personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and narcissistic personality disorder are also classified under the cluster B of personality disorders as well. Now, let's get into the symptoms. So the DSM-V, as I just showed you, describes histrionic personality disorder as a pervasive pattern of excessive emotionality and attention seeking, typically beginning by early adulthood and present in a variety of contexts as indicated by 5 or more of the following. So there are 8 possible symptoms you can have within histrionic personality disorder, and you need 5 out of the 8 to be diagnosed at least. Symptom 1 is uncomfortable in situations in which they are not the center of attention. 2, interaction with others is often characterized by inappropriate sexual, seductive, or provocative behavior. 3, displays rapidly shifting and shallow expression of emotions. 4, consistently uses physical appearance to draw attention to themselves. 5, has a style of speech that is excessively impressionistic as well as lacking in detail. 6, shows self-dramatization, theatricality, and exaggerated expression of emotion. 7, is suggestible, meaning these individuals tend to easily be influenced by others or outside circumstances. And finally, symptom number 8 pertains to these individuals consider relationships to be more intimate than they actually are. I also wanted to provide more details beyond the symptoms themselves because the DSM does provide some more details about this condition. So the DSM goes into further detail on this condition in its diagnostic features section. In regard to criterion 1, that being uncomfortable in situations where they're not the center of attention, the DSM claims these individuals tend to draw attention to themselves and charm acquaintances by their enthusiasm, apparent openness, and flirtatiousness. They may even be flattering and specifically attempt to bring gifts to their therapist, which we're not supposed to accept gifts for the most part. I found that interesting. This section also explained that individuals with histrionic personality disorder tend to fish for compliments and typically spend a lot of money on their appearance as well as dedicating a good amount of time and effort to groom and clothe themselves. A specific example that supports the lack of details these individuals typically share within their speech is that they may cite that someone is a wonderful person but struggle to have any supporting evidence that backs up that claim. Another descriptor of an individual with this condition pertains to them having emotions that turn on and off too quickly to ever be deeply felt, which tends to be perceived as faking feelings by others. These individuals may also refer to every single one of their friends as a dear friend, since they tend to view relationships as intimate that aren't always. They even may specifically refer to their doctors by their first name after only meeting them 1 or 2 times. These individuals specifically struggle to form their own opinions as well, and of course are more so influenced by their peers as well as current trends when forming opinions. Beyond this, there is a section in the DSM called Associated Features Supporting Diagnoses, and this gives us some more insight on individuals who have histrionic personality disorder. So these individuals typically take on a role such as a victim or a princess in a relationship. Some may even try to emotionally manipulate their romantic partners through seduction while also being dependent on that individual. Friends who compete for attention are not going to last long for individuals with histrionic personality disorder, as those individuals will get in the way of the attention sought out by these people. These individuals with histrionic personality disorder also tend to want to feel satisfaction immediately and have that instant gratification. They're typically bored with their day-to-day routine, and they may also struggle with depression as well as upset feelings if they are not able to be the center of attention for some reason. So now that you have a good background on what this condition looks like and the specific symptoms involved in it, let's move forward to prevalence. The prevalence rate suggests that data from the National Epidemiologic Survey on Alcohol and Related Conditions taken in between 2001 to 2002 suggested specifically a 1.84% prevalence rate for histrionic personality disorder. In regard to gender differences, the diagnosis was cited as more common amongst females. However, the reasoning for this was that the actual population of people in this research study were more so female. So it had less to do with the unique symptoms and gender differences within this mental health condition and more so the population. Other research has found similar prevalence rates across gender, meaning there aren't many differences notably. Moving forward into treatment for histrionic personality disorder, psychotherapy is the main go-to for treatment for most mental health conditions, and that is no different here. Individuals with this condition really should go to therapy, and there are 3 specific treatment modalities that have been shown to be helpful for this population. The first one is cognitive therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy. I got this from Psych Central. It describes that in regard to this diagnosis, individuals would make treatment goals surrounding their symptoms, such as tolerating situations with low approval or attention from others, demonstrating effective communication and social skills, showing empathy for others, and increasing their awareness of emotions and successfully being able to regulate them. So a client may come in who has this condition that says, I need others to admire me for me to be happy. I must always be able to get other people's attention. And the therapist is going to help the client test these beliefs and test out their fears. They may even do behavioral experiments. And the purpose of these experiments is to help these individuals build their confidence when they do ultimately face criticism. The next treatment modality is referred to as CAT. It's cognitive analytic therapy. According to Psych Central, it's a time-limited collaborative therapy that helps people to identify relational patterns that have led to their self-defeating and unhelpful thoughts, feelings, as well as behaviors. So cognitive analytic therapy specifically consists of 3 processes, those being reformulation, recognition, as well as revision. They cite the first process, reformulation, is very important because it's where the client and the therapist are working together to write a letter about why and how these relational maladaptive patterns developed for the client. This form of therapy also helps the client to practice more adaptive relational patterns, those being behaviors that are healthy to engage in relationships and are appropriate to the relationship itself. They can also practice this in therapy with their therapist. This is a short-term therapy. It's typically only about 16 sessions long. The last form of psychotherapy cited for histrionic personality disorder in particular is referred to as FAP. It's a functional analytic psychotherapy, and according to Psych Central, is based on the belief that the problems these people experience in their relationship are also going to occur in session with a therapist. For example, if someone struggles to open up emotionally to a romantic partner, they're probably going to struggle to open up emotionally to their therapist as well. Therapists like to identify their clients' responses that occur within the client-therapist relationship And these responses are clinically referred to as clinically relevant behaviors, which include problematic behaviors that occur within the therapy session. When a client engages in an adaptive behavior, so an acceptable and healthy behavior, the therapist should respond by reinforcing that and also being supportive of that behavior. It's important for the therapist to point that out. Beyond psychotherapy, I am also going to argue for the utilization of DBT, which could be incorporated into psychotherapy, of course, since individuals a lot of the time who have histrionic personality disorder may comorbidly have other cluster B personality disorders or symptoms. My assumption is, since DBT is the evidence-based treatment for borderline personality disorder, that it would also be extremely helpful for these individuals, especially where they struggle immensely with relationships as well as regulating their emotions. Medication does not seem to have much efficacy in regard to treating personality disorders unless there's co-occurring conditions that may benefit from medication, such as if these individuals have depression or anxiety, and then they may take SSRIs, which are a type of antidepressant, for instance. And that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel as well. You can follow me on all my social medias. They'll be down here. My Instagram is Julie_counseling. My Twitter is Julie Counseling with no underscore. My coaching Instagram is Julie_coaching. And my Facebook page will be linked down below in the description as well. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.